And another thing about South India, South is there is a history behind this. The first Aryan invasions happened somewhere between 8,500 to 9,000 years ago. That is when people started coming from across Himalayas to Indian subcontinent. When they came here, this was paradise for them because climate is good, no extremities, rich land, great rivers, no snow, no excess of desert or snow or this, that, nothing. Everything is like this, temperature variation is within 8 to 15 degrees maximum. Everything comfortable, land is rich, water, lot of wildlife. So when they came and saw this place, it was their place, and above all, gold. Gold was like everything. Gold was like simply everywhere. You will see, not that long ago, even in recent times, something like 1500 years ago, travelers who came from outside report, gold and diamonds were sold, gold nuggets and diamonds were sold on the street side, without any security, without anything, which could not be done anywhere else in the world, because it was so abundant. That is what fired all the European expeditions, all the Columbuses, Vasco da Gamas took off because they heard about the gold and they tasted the spice. With the tongue hanging out, they wanted to find India, because the spice. Has it gotten you? Those who come from outside the country in the last 4 days, has the spice gotten you? Because you need to understand this. The European culture had never tasted anything spicy in their life. They just ate everything salted, that's all. No spice at all. They've never seen it, they've never known it. First time when you taste spice, life explodes into a different dimension of experience. And the Western Ghats were known as the spice mountains because spice just grew wild, even today. It just grew wild, not one, 100 different varieties of spice. So spice and gold spice, you heard that. So the gold was one thing, and another thing was these were settled communities. They had built cities at that time. Between India-Pakistan border, particularly in the area of Gujarat, there have been excavations which are 1300 years old, 13,000 years old, and they have cities. Unfortunately, it is in a disputed area where constantly these two nations have been fighting. Not much excavation has happened. Very little has happened. Some historians have written fantastic, kind of interpretations, they've not seen everything. The iconographic proof, which is very much established in the British Natural History Museum, says there were properly manufactured coins with the image of Shiva, which are 12,000 years old, in a yogic posture, sitting like this. Rudra sitting in a yogic posture with a bull standing next to him, 12,000-year-old coins are present even today. Because they had established cities, how this happened is just this. These are Aryans who came from outside. They live in harsh lands, so they're nomadic in nature, they move. Because of this, for them, fire became their guiding post. And when you're a nomad, you always look up. You have no interest in the earth. They always looked up for their hopes, for their fears, for their anxieties, for their future, for guidance, everything they looked up. You need to understand this. All the world religions have happened because of this. Because they were nomadic, they looked up at the stars. Because they have to travel, they understood the stars more and more because it was vital to know the stars to travel. Because these people here, in the indigenous people of India, looked at the earth. Because of that, thousands of years ago, they developed agriculture. They never bothered to look up. They did not know anything about navigation. They did not know how to travel the seas, but they knew how to get gold out of the land, how to get food out of the land, how to make the land rich and live there. So naturally, they lived in one place. Once they lived in one place, arts, culture, music, mathematics, all kinds of things developed, building crafts, all these things developed and they built cities. When these people did not know what is a city, what is a dwelling, when they lived in tents or slept in open and they were nomadic, when they came and saw this, and because they were always on the move, they were rough men. Because these people had settled down, they kind of softened up. So when they came, they were an easy take. And when the Aryans came, they did not know what to call them because their language was completely different. Even today, Tamil language has no basis in the Sanskrit. Almost every other language, from here across to Europe, everything has basis in Sanskrit language. But Tamil is one language which has no Sanskrit base because it was an indigenous process. And gradually, as the Aryan hordes came from the north, initially just as like bandits, later on as settlers, later on as conquerors, gradually, step by step, in the next 2,000 to 3,000 years, this happened. When this happened, gradually they pushed these people down, pushed these people down. Even in Mahabharata, there are many incidents where how they want to, completely take off the Rakshasa culture from there. They call them the Rakshasas. Rakshasa was not a negative word at that time, it's only later, in connotation it became negative. They pushed them south and pushed them south. You will see this if you just look at the people. It'll be not nice, but if you ask people from the base southeast Tamil Nadu, somebody from Karnataka, somebody from Andhra Pradesh, somebody from Madhya Pradesh, somebody from Maharashtra, somebody further up, further up, further up, you will see the color of the skin, the physical stature, how it changes. Because this is how people were, the two cultures met, intermingled, and this became one way. The really up north looked different, and even today it looks different. So because of this, whatever came from the Aryan culture, a small group of diehards resisted that. Even today they're resisting, okay? Even today, all the political parties in Tamil Nadu have to have the affix that it's Dravidian. Always they're Dravidian parties, otherwise there's no way they can come to political power, because still that feeling and that emotion is still strong in people. And they may not know the history, but they know somewhere some exploitation happened to them. So in South India, in Tamil Nadu, they don't celebrate Ram Leela, they do Ravan Leela. And it's common for people to take the name Ravan, Ravanan, just now he's been in news, is a common name in Tamil Nadu. It's unimaginable in the north that anybody taking the name of Ravan, isn't it? Here Ravan is seen as a great king, a great devotee of Shiva. An injustice happened to him, his city was burned down in an unfair manner. That's how it is seen. So, because of this, there is a resistance of cultural imposition in the form of Ramayana, Mahabharata. And if you look at it, there is a streak of prejudice running through Ramayana and Mahabharata. They're dismissing off the indigenous people as Rakshasas, and they're saying killing them is not even a crime, you can burn them down. See, the way Kunti burned down that mother and 5 sons, there is not even a thought about it because they're Nishada people. That means they're not Aryans. A non-Aryan person, if you burn him, it means nothing. I'm saying it has been so in many parts of the world, isn't it? If you killed a black man in America, let us say 100 years ago, it was not a crime, it was just a social event, So it was so here also, but a few thousand years ago. So this was there, so because of this feeling, still there is a small little bit of resistance going on about that. But it is so far away, cultures have mixed and you can't separate who is who anymore. It's too long a period to resist. You can keep Mahabharata, sense will come into you. If it doesn't come into you, if your husband or wife reads it, sense will come into them, that could help too. Yes? See, keeping people ignorant is not a solution. If people who live with you know all aspects of life and still they choose to live with you, it's easier to live with them, I'm telling you. People are living with you because they have some silly ideas about you, which you can never fulfill. Yes, they have some silly ideas about you, it is impossible to fulfill those expectations, you will be in constant trouble. Trouble does not mean something wrong has to happen, nothing right happened in your life, that is the worst trouble. Nothing happened, right or wrong, nothing happened. You avoided life, that is the worst thing that you can happen to a human being. Let something happen, that's Mahabharata.